How Long Gone. The sun is out. Los Angeles, California. Them jeans. Chris Black. It's a morning podcast since our guest is in the UK. How are you feeling, Jason? Have you had time to kind of get your day going, get your brain firing, have your coffee with butter in it?
No Bulletproof. I did have coffee. I'm feeling actually pretty good. I think everyone has sort of been like sick, like just kind of like sick for the last 2 months, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm starting to come out of that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I did pour up a nice cup full of broth just a second ago to warm my spirits.
Okay, so I yesterday on a How Long Gone off day, because we love the medium so much, we did get together to record an episode of our friend Pia's podcast, Everything is the Best, which airs over at the pay to play Dear Media Network, and we did this in our normal spot at Jason's house, and I walked in, and it just the smell of broth, of stock, of dead chicken
Carcass.
It hit me like a wall of fucking bricks. I got to tell you what, and it was the pack was distractingly loud, I would say. Is that how you would just? Were you adding? Is there additional fragrant ingredients that I'm maybe not aware of that we're adding to this?
There are a lot of aromatics in play, of course.
Okay,
but nothing too abnormal. The way I like to make my stock, it's just the standard stuff: celery, carrots, garlic, onion. Maybe a bay leaf. Some peppercorns, things like that. A Parmesan cheese rind is another popular one to add some richness and body to it. But a lot of people will add other things that make it a little too powerful, in my opinion, like ginger and lemongrass and things like that. And it can make it's just too strong. So I like to add. Okay. I make a simple. I have a simple plan with my broth, and I stick to it. And then if I want to make it funky, I'll do that in post. So the broth is done. Okay. Then I can add whatever,
Okay.
things that Renee Redzepi has been working on that show up on my doorstep.
Okay. Yeah.
Add some fermented reindeer penis or whatever to add an extra flair.
Whichever one of his interns spent 4 months learning how to pickle reindeer penis only
for an unpaid opportunity.
It's a lot of exposure to pickling. But I walked in, and I of course complained about the smell, and Jason was like, watch this. When Pia walks in, she's going to say how great this smells. Mm-hmm. And that is exactly what happened. Yeah. And then she was asking you about your broth. And then, unfortunately for me, you did take the lid off.
Oh, yeah.
And then the smell got even more fragrant. And that's when I had to leave because I started to feel a little nauseous.
Damn, bro, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I mean, it really is a tale of two podcasters, a tale of two creators. Broth is a very divisive fluid, isn't it?
It's been that. No, it is. And now that the sun's out, even though there's a little chill in the air, it's going to be 70 degrees today in LA. I hope that I hope that stock has simmered enough that you can put it in storage in one of your little plastic cups in the refrigerator, and that smell is hidden. Because I also feel like, and I don't mean to have sympathy for animals, but it seems like that maybe that smell being so fragrant and delicious for carnivores, that could make those doggos a little crazy. You ever thought about that?
No, I'm aware of it. They go hog wild at the smell of boiling bones. They love bones, but yeah, it's basically Bonnaroo for them every time I boil up a new pot.
Okay, this is a Kendrick Lamar headlining set at Bonnaroo level of excitement for Margot and Bean. I wanted to also discuss a tweet I saw this morning. Mm-hmm. And this feels like something that could be made up. I find it linguistically fascinating that even in the Zoom era, we still call the networking meetings where you're getting to know someone digital coffees, even though we both are literally sitting in our homes without coffee. And I wanted to ask you, Jason.
Never heard it called digital coffee before.
Exactly. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that this lie is called out here, because I don't think that digital coffee does feel like something that could be floating around the LinkedIn universe. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist. I am going to say that I haven't heard
It's one of my favorite burial songs.
Okay.
Digital Coffee.
I had a feeling. Okay, so this is ripped from the white label 12-inch. That doesn't seem like a term that anyone has, I just feel like that's something you and I would have come across at this point.
At the very least, we would have mocked it, satirized it, or made fun of it because it's such a funny thing to say. Yeah, I mean, those are people who are tweeting in their own little silo. And if you are the type of person where somebody sends you a Slack message or whatever, a signal saying we should get a digital coffee sometime, those people do exist in the world. Luckily, we just don't have to interact with them.
It's crazy because I feel like we do,
and we know a lot of founders.
Yeah, no, don't get it twisted. We know a lot of founders. Yeah, I just feel like we interact with the best and the worst, But this particular type of worst, I do think exists outside of our purview, and that's a blessing for us.
Yeah, it's not like when somebody tweets about how their 9-month-old made a comment about Nancy Pelosi or whatever it is, where you're like, okay, I don't think your infant wrote that tweet or said that to you over your morning coffee. I think you may have written that yourself. I think that digital coffee really does exist, and people do say those words. But like I said, I'll be thanking Allah this afternoon, sharing my gratitude for not having to hear those with my own words, my own ears.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that I was surprised by. But I also wanted to talk about. I went through something yesterday that, as you know, was kind of hard for me, and I shared it with you personally. But I thought it would be. I thought it would be kind of important to share it with the audience as well.
It's cool that you're brave enough.
I mean, I don't like to backslide, in my life. I kind of always like to keep a forward momentum, as you know. And due to some circumstances outside of my control, I did, oh man, I had to rejoin Equinox.
When you say had to, was it a gun? Was it a knife? How did the whole thing go down?
It's just sometimes I think about economics and I shrug them off and I spend based on my heart. And but in this case, this is actually a decision.
I spend with my heart, vote with my dollar.
Exactly. This is actually an instance where this will benefit my wallet, save me money versus doing berries 7 times a week. But it's more about my programming, and I cannot get thrown off of the run I'm on right now. No pun intended, with what Hunter and I have been working on. So instead of throwing caution to the wind and spending a fortune on berries daily, I've decided to make a adult decision, rejoin the Equinox family, and follow a program that Hunter is going to write for me.
Hey man, so we're all kind of going through it, and you're no.
No, I'm not.
You're no different.
The way that they've banned gas ovens in New York and what that's doing to you and Allison Roman, think about what I'm going. I want you to see me suffering as well.
Yeah,
because people think it's so easy. It's no big deal. Life is good. You podcast, ha ha ha. But there are struggles and things that go with this, and having to re-download the Equinox app and start from scratch, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
So you had to see some of the worst text one could read on their mobile device, which is member since 2023.
That is exactly, yes, exactly. That is exactly what hit. Yeah, it hit so far below the belt, but I'm looking at this as a mature decision, and I kind of think that sharing this with not only you but our listeners, who we love and respect, I'm sure I'll receive a lot of support from the community in this trying time.
Hopefully, Dasha has reached out as a fellow Equinox sympathizer.
I know, exactly. But the I know they have the equipment I need to continue to see the gains that I'm looking for in 2023, and that has to be my North Star.
Sorry to cut you off. Does this mean now that you might take advantage of some of their other amenities, i.e., a sauna, perhaps?
So you're asking if I'm going to get jerked off by men in the sauna, and right now the answer is no. But I mean, anything's possible. I mean, I don't know how it's going to go. It's going to throw me into such a warp being in that environment, smelling the eucalyptus. seeing the finance guys. It's such a New York experience at Equinox. I can't say.
Also, before we bring our guests on, I wanted to say that we appeared on another podcast. I think we talked about it, but Stratio Lab.
Yes.
Where it's basically the gay versions of us, or we're the straight versions of them, whatever it may be. But we appeared on there a few days ago, and you guys should go listen to it. It's a funny episode. But the theme of that was loosely home improvement. You pick a subject that straight people
that's right
are very in tune with.
No Tim Allen. This is the act of.
This is the actual. Yeah. We're not talking about the beloved sitcom from the 90s. And the theme was home improvement, and then. I just recently saw the Paris Review has a new segment on their publication about home improvements. And I'm really wondering, how much further will the lines be drawn?
Mm-hmm.
How much further will the lines be blurred between, top literary media and then, my blue collar life and influence on the rest of the world?
Who knows? I mean,
the Paris Review will never want me to write for them, but they will pluck my ideas.
Yeah.
And use them for whatever evil that they're doing over there.
No, it's true. It's like they're mining you for content. There's obviously no financial retribution to be paid.
It's exploitation is what it is.
As we say in my world, in the hip hop community, TJ makes, Paris Review takes. And
that's right.
That's on God. We do have a guest today. We're going all the way to London, but she hails from Italy. Our name is Sofia Prantera.
Bravo.
She is an Italian designer. She had a brand called Silas that I remember pretty well.
Is it Silas or Silas?
I think it's Silas. I don't know. We're going to find out. I've never heard it said. But yeah, she also helms now Aries, which I'm sure you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna chat with her about. I mean, look, she was at Central St. Martin's in the 90s, so I can only imagine the shit that she has seen and done. And I love talking to an OG. Jason.
Yeah, and we're both fans of Aries as well. There's in a world of streetwear where it's almost 99% horse shit. They're one of the streetwear brands that is actually cool and interesting and doing fun stuff. A lot of unisex styles, blurring the lines between masculinity and streetwear, and I'm excited to find out, who some of Chris's favorite hotties are who have been spotted in some no problemo sweatsuits.
Okay, yeah, we could definitely figure that out. All right, let's chat with Sofia. Honestly, Sofia, yeah, I'm really happy that worked out because we've done shit like that countless times and it does not work out often. I would say more often than not. The difference is we're doing it with like a professional musician who should know better but somehow can't use AirPods. So
with a really bad fashion designer who worked out very well. I hope you can just say it to the musician next time. You just say, actually, there was like a fashion designer that did it very quickly.
We had this really bad fashion designer do it in 5 seconds, so you have no excuse.
Like a literally worst fashion designer ever did it very quickly.
Yeah, we'll make sure to lay that out for them. Are you Are you in London? Are you in Italy? Where are you?
I'm in London. Yeah, I'm in my house in London.
So you have you said this is the garden. What were you calling this room that you're in?
Sunroom.
So this is the garden room. We don't know because basically in lockdown, I know you guys started in lockdown. In lockdown, we Sorry, can you hear my dog? Is it better if the dog gets out?
No, it's fine.
Oh no,
no.
Okay,
your dog's fine. Yeah,
he's fighting a toy at the moment. So in lockdown, I have 2 kids and a dog, and I think we were really tight. So my husband built this room in the garden. I think you can see it. You might be able to see the house.
Oh, wow. Okay, so
yeah.
This is an ADU.
In California, we call these an ADU, an additional dwelling unit.
It's an additional dwelling unit.
Could we, Sophia, could we see the permits that you pulled for that just to make sure it's all on the up and up?
I did. I got a permit.
Oh, wow.
Okay, wow. That's even more impressive.
Yeah, they knew that people were desperate in lockdown to try and find somewhere to work. And because my son does music, it's soundproof, so it's actually really good.
I was gonna say it looks soundproof.
Yeah,
what
it's
kind
soundproof.
of music is is your son making?
He keeps it quite secret, but he's into, I guess, grime and rap and all that kind of stuff.
How old is he?
He was 19 last week. So.
Okay, so he's 19.
So yeah, and he doesn't really use it. Yeah.
Okay, so he's a 19-year-old. Got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's 19. His parents are cool. Like, he's been raised by cool parents, and he's like making beats, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he makes beats, exactly.
Well, he doesn't think that you're cool, but the world does.
He doesn't think his parents are cool at all. Like, he wasn't 19 in lockdown, he was more like 16, I guess. Yeah, does beats. And he actually does a lot of music for us too, but begrudgingly again.
You're saying you forced him under duress to make music for Aries when you need it?
I do.
Okay.
You're like, all right, we gotta make a new TikTok. So can you give me a beat, Sonny boy?
Exactly. But it's really difficult with music because you have to have rights to music, which, I think at the beginning when you start a brand, you can get away with just ripping anything off. And then you get to a point where people just start getting pissed off. So I think the music thing is the hardest because visually we can do anything, but actually music wise, I don't really know how to do it. And obviously he's a pro in Logic. So, and kids can do it like literally 2 minutes. What I think would take probably 7 hours takes 2 minutes. So I force him under duress.
Okay, that's good. So it's kind of like if you don't give me this beat by noon, maybe there's not going to be any food on the table tonight.
You don't get any food.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. No lunch for you.
So do his friends ever hit him up to get free clothes from you guys?
Oh my God, they all model for us. That's kind of like, it's gone from like being, I think my career has gone from it being my friends to, younger friends. And then now it's like, my kids and my kids' friends. And yes, I think we have them around all the time. We're quite an easy household with lots of people hanging out.
That's great.
That's very cool.
So since all of your friends are grandpas and grannies now, so it's not a great demographic for your streetwear brand.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite the same.
Although, I get told off all the time. It's just like, you should have more like older women in your lookbooks. But yeah, no, it's easier to use the kids. But we had a party the other day. We had we have these like quite amazing parties in London, and we have like a really amazing like breath of ages. Like breath? Did you say breath? Oh, sorry, I'm Italian, by the way. So if my English sounds a bit weird at times, it's because of that.
I'm sorry. All right, so you said you're on Valium, so it might fuck up your English.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said I'm Italian.
Oh, my bad. I literally thought you're like, sorry, I'm on Valium. It might fuck up my English, and I was like, damn. Okay, go off, Sophia. Damn.
I just took some Valium, so my English must be slightly slurred. No, I'm Italian. I don't know if you know I'm Italian.
No,
I'm Italian.
Yeah, of
Half
course.
Italian.
Of course, we know you're Italian.
Yeah, okay.
We can read.
So my English sometimes is not up to scratch.
It's okay.
But anyway,
okay,
we do tend to have these parties that that sort of have everyone, the age, like the variety of ages is very, very it's like they're like weddings.
Mm-hmm. Runs the gamut.
But they're really fun. That we are known in London for having the best parties.
Oh wow! Okay,
and I think now it's like
Okay.
It goes Sophia and then Fabric is as far as parties go.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that.
So Fabric doesn't give you free drinks, though.
Yeah, that's a good point. So if Jason and I were lucky enough to get invited to one of the parties at your household.
No, not in my house. No, that's
you do it at a club or an art gallery or something. Yeah.
No, we like organize events for Aries, so it's not my own parties. No.
O2 Arena or something like that. Some of the local venues.
Yeah, more like art galleries or event spaces. We're about to open a store, so it's going to be there next time, I think.
Yeah, that's why I want an event space so I can throw parties and not have to worry about my personal belongings, getting damaged.
Yeah, that's it. It's good. Yeah,
Jason's a pretty big party animal, and sometimes he gets a little wild.
Yeah,
so you got to watch it.
Yeah, if I go into your medicine cabinet, good luck.
Yeah.
The Valium is going to be gone.
You'll have to call your pharmacist. And get a re-up.
You have to call your local Boots.
Sorry,
and get a re-up.
You'll have to ring the chemist if I come round the flat.
And you don't want your teenage children to go into your medicine cabinets. That's not good.
No,
yeah, exactly. Well, you were mentioning that your parties run the gamut in terms of diversity of age.
Diversity in general, I think.
Diversity in
general. Diversity in general, yeah.
Well, you, I mean, and you and your brands that you've worked with over the years have always been, very kind of unisex. A lot of, clothing can be for male and female, and it's kind of a genderless thing. Do you think are old people the next step on that journey?
Oh, my parents wear Aries head to toe. They're actually here visiting me at the moment, and they literally come down in like Aries head to toe, and they're like pushing 80. So,
well, if it's one thing Italians like, it's free streetwear.
Yeah,
Italian. Yeah, actually, Sofia, while we have you, can you explain? Because we talked about this. We talked about this a lot because Jason and I love to complain about going to Italy.
Yeah,
and when we're in Italy, why do you see like an 80-year-old man wearing like bootleg Pyrex? Like, what part of the Italian? Like, why? What is?
And you're laughing because you've seen it with your own eyes.
Yeah. Why does it?
I know.
Like you're.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was bootleg. Isn't it an Italian brand? I thought it was an Italian brand, and they didn't really understand.
Well, it's not even a real brand.
No,
it is a real.
Well, it was a real brand, but like I'm saying, okay. Well, let's use a different example.
Yeah.
Your dad pulls up in the off-white sweatsuit, and you're kind of like, what the fuck, Dad? Like, why does that happen? Why does that happen in Italy and not in anywhere else in the world?
And I'd like to think that the grandparents or the nonas who are wearing Heron Preston bomber jackets are just like, what?
Nonas are.
They're like, this is a shirt. I'm just wearing clothes. What are you talking about? Like, I don't even understand.
They cut the obvious branding off.
Oh, they debadge.
Yeah, they debadge.
I love the idea of walking into your Nona's house, and she's got all the pots are on, and she's got the Heron Preston sweatsuit on, just getting busy in the Yeezys.
I have really cool parents. I have to say, I'm like quite proud of my parents. My mom is in there doing a podcast about vampires at the moment. She's pretty amazing.
Ooh.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What do you mean?
So podcasting is a family business over there right now, is what it sounds like.
It's a family business. Well, it was my first one, but not hers.
Okay, hold on. Does she hosts a podcast about vampires, or she's a guest?
So she's a writer. She's writing.
Okay.
She's writing about vampires, and she's recording as a podcast.
Wow.
What an amazing moment where you're like, oh, sorry guys, like I just need an hour peace and quiet. I'm going to record this podcast. And your mom's like, you? Me?
Yeah. We're recording. Yeah, she's trying to get my sister to do one of the voices as we speak. So, yeah. I mean, I have quite an eccentric family, but,
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, no, but I think that this... We talk about this a lot on How Long Gone because Jason and I both have loving families, but they're not cool by any stretch of the imagination. But in some ways, I guess that's fine because they kind of let us do our thing and let our freak flags fly, and we figured it out. But did your parents did they let you do whatever you want, kind of, and you figure it out early, or are they trying to make you cool?
No. So my mom's cool. My dad's quite straight. So I think I had both
Yeah.
I had both things in my life. So my dad's a doctor, so it's quite straight. He's Italian. My mother's English, and he's quite conventional. So I think we had both things in our lives where we weren't pushed to be extrovert at all. Actually, the opposite. But we were pushed towards the arts, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, we're also quite straight and Italian, and kind of like those quite boring Italian that will wear cashmere jumper and some jeans.
Nothing wrong with that.
Like that kind of background. Pariolini. If you know the Pariolini.
Cashmere jumper and jeans is actually my go-to look, so I can relate on that. Mm-hmm. I can relate on that.
The dog wants to come back in. Sorry. I don't know if I should. Is that really annoying if he goes in and out?
No, we don't even know. We don't care. It's fine.
Oh, you don't know? Okay.
Does your dog have a cool name like Brunello?
Well, my dog's gender fluid. he has a girl's name, and he's a boy. He's called Nina.
Okay, sorry. I mean, I should. Is they?
They're called Nina. No.
Do they have a cool name?
Yeah. He's a boy. I don't know how he identifies that, but he's called Nina. But that was a joke from the kids. Again, a pandemic joke, because Nina apparently is short for a gun, for a 9mm gun, and they thought it'd be really fun to have
a Nina.
Oh,
a Nina.
okay.
Too.
Yeah, I think I've.
But he stuck with his very silly name, which I'm sure.
I mean, that's how all good names happen, you know? Where our podcast is just like, yeah, let's just use that name until we come up with a better name, and then a year goes by, and you're like, oh, fuck.
I feel like you have a very chaotic household. You know, I feel like there's a lot going on. I feel like it's are you doing a lot of cooking? Who handles the cooking in the household?
Well, I like cooking, so I do cook, but actually less. I mean, work's really full on at the moment, so less. And then the kids obviously are a bit older, so they can kind of do it themselves. But like, I like cooking. I come from, like, my Italian family is one of those families that, you know, everyone's cooking all day, every day, and then you have lunch and you know, everyone's talking about what they're going to have for dinner. And, you know, that, like, I'm sure you've experienced.
Yeah.
Just food seems to be the only way of communicating.
Yeah. I'm not really a big food guy, but I think that lunch is kind of crazy, you know, because it eating lunch kind of takes the wind out of my sails. You know, I can't, no matter how many espressos I have, I can't regain the vigor after having a meal midday.
Yeah, can you give us some tips after you have a big bowl of tortelloni for lunch and you want to take a nap, but you still have to approve some line sheets or whatever? What do you do?
Yeah, these tech packs aren't going to get done.
You have to have it. So I tend to not have a big lunch, but when I go to eat with the Italians, they do have a big lunch, and the secret is that they just have a couple of hours off.
Okay, so you're saying the key is to take a 3-hour nap and then kind of pick back up around 4.
You put your legs up on the Missoni couch, take a little nap, and then back to work you go.
Even put your pajamas back on if you're in the right place.
Oh, because my dad is a big napper, and he used to have a nice couch in his office, and he removed the couch because he was like, I got to stop napping. And then he began to just nap laying on the floor. So it wasn't, the comfort wasn't even it was just he just could not keep his eyes open.
He needed to nap so badly.
Yeah, it just didn't, he'll lay on concrete. It's dire.
But I think once you hit a certain age, you know, the nap kind of becomes unavoidable. And it ends up hurting you. It's like when people don't get enough sleep, it's not really helping anybody out, you know?
It's also, I think maybe it is of another generation. I think it's like, you know, I don't think it's kind of acceptable anymore, but people in Italy do it, but not everyone. But it used to be, when I was young, it used to be a thing where you'd go and your granddad's got back in his pajamas and he's going for a sleep, and then you couldn't even, like, we used to go and stay with my grandmother in the summer. And when they were having a nap, you couldn't make any noise. It was insane. And you're like, it's 2:00 in the afternoon, you know, and they had, like, you know, big Italian family, lots and lots of kids. And we were all forced to go around on our tiptoes.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. How was your summer? It was great. I had to be quiet for 3 hours every afternoon. It was amazing.
We did a lot of silent raves.
Just silent raves.
Yeah, I wish they existed.
How often do you go back to the motherland now? At least once a year.
Well, no, way more, because I also work there. All our production is there, so I'm, you know, I'm really close to my parents, so I do try and go back at least 3 or 4 times a year, but probably more often than that even.
Do they live in the city or?
Yeah,
or no?
They're in Rome.
Okay. Oh wow, nice.
Rome.
Okay.
And we just did a project in Rome, so I was able to go back a lot, which was really fun.
Bravo.
Yeah, we I love Milan, and I get killed for that by my fellow Americans, because they're like, what is there to like about Milan?
I love Milan.
I knew you did, and that's why I just guessed, because you're a real one. So I think people are just like.
So Sophia, why do you think people dislike Milan?
I don't know. I really like it. It used to be.
She's like, I never heard that.
Yeah, no. It used to be more dislikable. I think Milan, it used to be harder, Milan, but now it's like it's such an easy city and it's really fun.
I agree.
I like this sort of, I like the looseness of it. The fact that you can just go out and then you'll end up in lots of different places, and people are friendly. I don't know. I really enjoy it. And then I have a lot of friends there as well.
I just feel like it's the most comparable to New York. The same reason I love London. It feels like business is getting done, which
Yeah.
we know, no offense to you and your people, but you guys aren't, you're not really like business forward.
No.
So it's nice.
No.
It's nice. In Milan, it feels like people are actually going to work, whereas maybe in some other places it doesn't quite come across.
No, Rome is like, it's insane. I mean, I went back, so because we did this collaboration with the Roma Football Club, I actually spent a lot of time there, which I haven't as a grown-up, let's say. And I was just shocked on how actually lawless it is.
Lawless meaning
it's completely lawless.
You got stuck. You got stuck up. Crazy. You got stuck up for your Bape Rolex, or lawless like.
It's more like just there's no rules.
Yeah,
like people park everywhere. I don't know. It's just mental. And we went to the seaside a lot, which I've never done before. I don't know if you ever go to Rome. It's incredible. Yeah, it's a lot more. Unstructured.
The city polices itself,
or not,
or the Vatican polices the city, I guess.
Or the Vatican, from the wall.
The Vatican's kind of the omniscient, all-knowing being. I think that's higher than the police.
For sure.
The Vatican City 6th rental car. That's my favorite location, probably.
Yeah, Jason's had some great times in Rome.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Oh well, I'm getting married in Italy this summer, and
oh my god,
my fiance made me reserve the rental car, like 11 months in advance. So it's already been.
And don't worry, Sophia.
There's a spreadsheet. Don't worry,
Sophia. Don't worry. Don't worry. Neither Jason or his fiance are Italian or have any ties to Italy. They just really like it.
What you doing in Rome? You're getting married in Rome?
No, we're getting married in Tuscany, but we're gonna kind of have a honeymoon where we drive all over. We go to Rome, we go to Bologna, we go to Lake Como.
Nice.
We're probably gonna, and we end up in Milan and then fly home.
Don't drive in Rome. Whatever you do.
No.
Or Naples.
It's bad.
Even worse.
He's a great driver, but even I wouldn't advise that.
I mean, I drove a lot in Rome, and you get used to it after a while. But at first, I don't know. I get excited driving in a city that's terrible to drive in. Like I love driving in San Francisco. It's just you have to be an offensive driver, or else
I think you
it's
have
not
to
going to work out.
Especially if you're in I drive in England a lot, and when I go to Italy, you kind of have to change your mindset.
Oh yeah,
it's like I'm going to be really, really horrible to everyone, because otherwise, like when my husband drives, we're all like stuck in some in an exit thing for like an hour because he's too polite to
you can't do that. But also like in America. I live in Los Angeles, and if you drive around and somebody cuts you off and you give them the finger, there's a 50% chance you're going to die. But in Italy, like you'll cut somebody off and a 90-year-old grandma is doing the hands like you do fucking, like it's just a part of the life and the culture, and nobody's going to kill anyone.
I think it's it's really strange because we work with Italy a lot, and obviously my team, there is a few Italians, but we're in London, and only the Italians can deal with the Italian factories, for example. There's such a high level of misunderstanding going on because English people have got one way of thinking and Italians, and it's really hard. Sometimes I'm like, you guys have to put this into context. You have to understand what's going on there. And, and it's like, there's such different mentalities. And someone was telling me the other day that there's this woman that they know that does courses British fashion companies on how to work in Italy.
Wow.
And instead of learning Italian, you go and learn how to work with Italians.
I would much rather hire a couple of Italians than take a class to learn how to deal with Italians. That's crazy.
But it gets so often and it's not translation, like direct translation, it's lost in kind of ideas because we have such different mindsets.
Yeah, like translating what you actually want to be made.
What you actually, and the fact that they're not being rude to you.
How to tell an Italian person who's been doing this job for 50 years that like they did it wrong and they have to change it.
Yes.
And an English person says that and they just go, no, and then it's over, and then you're like, "Fuck, what do I do?
What do I do? We spent a lot of money on these samples. What do we do?"
Shoe is shoe. I don't fix.
No. That is So okay, if you're Italian and you live in London, where do you go for holiday? Don't tell me Spain.
Yes. Well, I do.
What's wrong with Spain, Chris?
I'm joking. The British are known for taking over Spain with their pasty skin.
Yeah, so I haven't got pasty skin, so it's good. But I'll fly to Italy and then I fly to Spain because Italy, I love Italy, it's amazing, but in small doses.
So you're saying it's easier to smuggle drugs in from Italy into Spain versus going straight from
Then
Heathrow.
the other way around.
Got it. Okay, that does make sense.
I'm not sure. No, I think it's probably better the other way around.
Okay. Yeah, actually, no, you're right.
But just thinking about it, I think you'll get less. Yeah, you'll get through the Italian borders much easier, I would have thought.
So when you were in London, like in the 90s, in that world, big rave culture and everything like that, were you also running off to Ibiza back then?
Yeah, and I still do.
Oh,
let's go.
I love going to Ibiza. Yeah.
Do we bring the kids for that trip or not so much?
Yeah, so we all go now.
Damn.
What's the point of going to Ibiza with your children? She's like, someone's got to drive.
Yeah, so exactly.
This motherfucker.
You're like, all right, Giancarlo, you know how to drive a stick?
You're like, this motherfucker's making beats. He's driving me around.
Yeah, just park it up front. We'll be a while.
Yeah, do you guys go to the rave together?
No, I don't really like going out anymore unless I have to.
Yeah.
All right, but in
in
your heyday though, what are we looking at? 5 nights a week?
No, I mean I did. Yeah, when I was super young though. I already had it out of my system by the time I was like 24.
Okay, so but like back then you were like in Manchester, like acid house, like raving kind of world.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, it's going to be out of your system because that's kind of like, where do you go from there? That's the peak.
Yeah. We'd already got. So I got my first job when I was like 22, I think, and by then I'm quite a workaholic, so by then I'd already kind of stopped going out. I mean, I'd go out, but it'd be more like skate things and like, people's parties.
You were focusing on the bag at an early age.
Yeah, my raving was done, very, very young, 15, 19.
And now you only rave if it's a write-off, a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Can we expense this, Molly?
Can we expense
This is work related, so just put it in that category in the spreadsheet, please.
In England, you can't expense entertainment. That's really bad.
You can.
In England, you can't. No.
What?
Entertainment is not expensive.
That's bollocks.
No. Well, I mean, it's expensive, it's not tax deductible.
All you guys do is fucking drink. How is that possible?
I know.
Well, that's why. If it was deductible, then the government would be bankrupt.
Yeah, they're just like, we're not dealing with that. Yeah, it's...
If they have to write off every pint, the city's going to crumble.
Yeah, it's only substance. And you can't argue that you can drink all the time. I actually don't drink that much.
Okay.
I didn't get that British vice. That's a very British thing that us Italians do less.
What are some of the British pastimes, behaviors, activities that you have adopted into your life, though?
I mean, going to the pub a little bit because you have to.
Is that what your son tells you?
Mom, I have to.
Look, I don't even want to go.
Yeah.
I have to.
I have to. I spent 3 years at St. Martin's without realizing that people were actually going to the pub at the end of the day.
You mean everybody would go after class to the pub and you just, because you're Italian?
They kept forgetting to invite you?
Yeah. I just didn't know what was going on. I was going to raves at that point, so maybe that was what it was.
Okay. Do you still listen to electronic dance music from time to time, or have you kind of calmed down on that?
I do, but we're more like a sort of punk family, I think.
Okay, now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas.
Yeah, we listen to a lot of American punk as a family. That's I think. And actually, I do think that one of you is into American punk.
We both are.
You both are. Okay.
I mean, Jason's more into. Well, actually, no. Jason's really well-rounded. I'm less well-rounded because I don't like electronic music at all, really.
Yeah.
But When you say American punk, do you mean from the heyday or do you mean current?
Heyday. Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
my husband's skater. He lived in San Diego for a while, and it's like from that.
Oh, so he was a proper pro skateboarder.
Yeah. And
okay.
we grew the kids up on the sound of hardcore.
Wow.
Which is possibly why they're so dysfunctional.
Yeah. What the
who are some of these bands that you're who are some of these hardcore bands you're talking about?
Well, I think in the car we would play something like The Descendants.
Okay.
I don't know, Black Flag.
Wow.
Circle Jerk. Fugazi.
Damn. Wow. So that's a true. All right. So you got two kids in the back of the Range Rover and they're listening to fucking Black Flag.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah. Screaming, Dad, please stop with this.
I wanted to talk about sweatpants.
Yeah.
And sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Your no problemo sweats have kind of become infamous. A lot of people have worn them over the last few years. You know, cool people, celebs, all that stuff. Who has been the one person where you open up your Instagram and you see somebody wearing a no problemo sweatshirt where you cringed and thought like, oh, what have I done?
Oh, cringed. I thought you were going to say what was the hey moment, because that would have been Charlize Theron.
Whoa, that's
okay.
We like that.
We can start with a hey moment.
Yeah. So a cringe moment.
Like a Pete Davidson or something where you're like, oh God, we got to change things up. Oh, really?
I love Pete Davidson. Yeah. I'd love him to.
What exactly do you love about him?
I don't know. It's kind of like him.
Are you attracted? Like, do you like his looks?
I don't know. I just kind of like him.
Why do we feel like your parents right now, Sophia?
I don't know. I just do. Like, I don't know.
Sophia, I just don't understand what you see in this boy.
So what you say? I don't know. No, I kind of like him, but then I'm not American, so I don't know. I've kind of like. It was quite funny when he split up with what's her name?
Kim Kardashian?
with Kim. I quite liked his statement. I don't know. I just think he's quite funny. He seems like a kind of like a nice person, isn't he? Not no.
So you understand what all these people see in him, is what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I've looked into him that deeply.
Sure.
Well, let's ask a little bit of a harder question, Sophia.
Yeah.
Your daughter brings home Pete Davidson, says, "Mom, this is my new boyfriend." Yeah. How's that going to go?
She's too young, so it'd be a bit pedo if that was the case.
Okay, I didn't.
Sure.
I meant metaphorical daughter. It doesn't need to be. I wasn't.
Okay, my metaphorical daughter. No, I'll be fine. Yeah, cool. Be fun.
Cool, fine.
I'm not a very judgmental person, though. I have to say that's one thing that's quite good about me. I'm not judgmental. Yeah, so even in terms of like who I've seen and I cringe, don't really.
You're fine.
Think anymore.
Well, also it's like it's tough. I mean, you know, it's lying in your pockets, you know. So the bigger did Charlize? Do you think she bought them?
I don't know. It didn't come from us, but I doubt her.
Yeah.
It was quite funny because she put it up on. It was when she did the film with Nicole Kidman, and it's a film about the three. I can't remember. Anyway.
Oh yeah. It was about like Fox News.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And she wore it in the pictures, and then Nicole Kidman reposted it. And
it was called Bombshell.
Yeah, Bombshell.
Yeah. And people were commenting underneath, and there was all these Italian people commenting that it was spelled wrong, which was quite funny. They were saying, "You don't say no problema, say problema." And then like people commenting again saying, "It's a joke."
Yeah, now that is the most infamous. That's the product. Is that something that I would love to understand where that came from?
No, it's from Terminator.
I thought. Okay, sure. I thought I was gonna. Okay, I didn't know. I thought it might be a little more heady than that, but I'm kind of.
No. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Terminator 2? Terminator 2?
Terminator 2, I think. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think he's when he's nice, so it's Terminator 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just goes, no problemo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's great. I guess inspiration can really come from anywhere, you know?
I don't know about the White Lotus thing. I felt slightly
that's right.
kind of is this good? Is this not good? Because um, the continuous picking up on her wardrobe.
Yeah.
Like, there was so many articles on who she was, why was she wearing.
So you're talking about the girl that was Jennifer Coolidge's assistant, like the young blonde girl.
Portia, yeah. Yeah, she wears it.
So that's a great example of a possibly cringe moment where you're like, oh, maybe this is not a great look for us because everyone was dissecting how awful her outfits were, and then she shows up wearing it.
Exactly. And then there was all the things of like who picked her outfit. And she was wearing a lot of like similar brands, so in a way we weren't alone, but that is quite, but I think when you have a brand, you're forever fighting between, wanting to remain cool or, and then really wanting to build an empire, the reality is that
that's the biggest challenge ever.
Yeah, they can't really coexist, or not for everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's like not.
You can is there like a ceiling in terms of how large you want to scale the brand, where you'll stop there before it becomes so uncool that you don't love it anymore, or are you just kind of, we hope to get there?
It's difficult because I think it kind of has its own momentum. So you think you can control it, but you can't. It's its own thing. It's already its own thing, and it's still quite small.
Well, you could be like Burberry and just burn all your extra stock so poor people can't buy it. There are ways to do it, but they're not very.
There are ways. We can talk off mic if you need to unload some stuff. Don't worry about it.
They're not the only ones.
Yeah, they're not the only ones.
No, they're not.
Wait, is that you admitting that you guys do it too? Is that what you're saying in so many words?
We're way too small to even have enough to burn, to be honest.
You're like, the only time we burn our clothes is to keep warm.
To keep warm when we can't pay the
bill. No, I think that like we say this all the time with podcasting or with music or with fashion, whatever it is. You really think you can choose your audience, but you can't.
No.
Once you put something out into the world, it's not up to you anymore. And I think that is something that takes some coming to terms with.
Yeah, it's really hard. And I think, a lot of people don't talk about how brands grow and, how this outcome that happens. But a lot of the brands that, around us grow through investment. Mm-hmm. We don't. We're growing organically. So, the reality is that this sort of monster grows, and an organic growth is even harder to contain in a way.
Yeah, no, for sure,
And I think you can't plan it, and you might, and also you have to, because you're growing organically, you have to follow the money to a certain extent, because you're investing your own money into your growth. Mm-hmm. So. And this becomes, it's a little bit, like technical, but in a way, if you have an investment, you can kind of, sort of choose what works for you and kind of push that. Well, I think when you grow organically, you have to go with what's selling to then be able to grow. And, and you have a different kind of freedom because you don't have investors, you don't have anyone telling you what to do. But the reality is you also, your market is dictated by people buying it. And if something's selling, you're like, do I really stop this when it's allowing me to employ all these people and to do all these other things that I enjoy doing? And, so it's a difficult thing. Yeah.
But when you do it organically, that's where you get true respect from other people versus LVMH dropping off.
Hey, look, 50. But we'll take it. I speak for Sofia when I say we'll take it. I'll say we'll take it.
But you get the benefit of having an infinitely long runway where you can take risks and make more mistakes and still be able to pay your employees versus in your situation.
I think I think about it a lot because obviously we get approached by people who want to invest and think about it. But I think organic growth gives you a form of satisfaction that, like, someone coming in and just there's, 10 million pounds. What do you want to do with it? Because you're still not, it becomes even more daunting, because I think like that kind of sort of straight exchange of like someone likes something that you do and they buy it. It's very, very humbling and kind of like, it feels every day you're kind of growing. And I think it, for a human being, it feels nicer, it feels like you're achieving, it gives you a sense of achievement.
Definitely. Yeah. You don't want to go mad happy route. You know what I mean? We all know what's going on over there.
Yeah. And then you question things, because you question things. You're like, is what I'm doing, is it good? And if someone comes in and just gives you lots of money, money that may, money laundering money, maybe it's fun, but maybe you think, was that just just someone laundering money around?
Just to be clear, we'll let you launder money through How Long Gone. If anybody listening, we're down with white collar crime.
White collar crime is good.
I would totally do money laundering, but I think maybe psychologically I'd be more upset. I think it makes me happier than this one.
So but you said you're opening a store soon.
We're opening a store, yeah.
What's the plan? Where's it going to be?
So it's in Soho, and it's big, really big, and that's going to require a lot of either money laundering or prostitution, or a combination of both.
So what is the plan? Now, is this going to be the office and the store? Is it going to be? Are you moving just the store?
It's going to be a store, but it's also organized as a sort of event space, like. Mm-hmm. / gallery / hanging out space. Mm-hmm. I think we all felt that to just open a small store was not a goal, and I think to just open something that feels like more community led and that feels like it has a place.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah,
I just think there's a thing though in today's age that I feel like having a store really just legitimizes a brand, no matter how much you're selling and how many great stores you're in globally, et cetera. I think having your own space, especially in like a major city, just like makes it feel a lot more real to even the customer, not just your peers.
You're totally right. Because I think you can only really have your vision within your own space. And I think otherwise you're like curated all the time by someone else.
Yeah. I guess like a space of your own, you really get to show your customer who you are as a brand in other ways that you can't do on e-com, the art that you hang in the walls, the music that you play.
Yeah, the books.
And you can be in control of all of that. Yeah. Whereas, you're the essence photographer on e-com doesn't always shoot the way you want it to be, but you just got to do it.
No, it's true. And I think it's, it's super, super important to do it. And I think that is the way everyone's going nowadays. But it's not going to be, the easiest. Yeah, I think going forward.
No, but I mean, it's a terrible idea.
We signed the lease on the day that the September when all the markets like dropped and like the interest rates just went through the roof, and we were like,
no, it's okay, you'll be fine. Fashion's not affected by that stuff, that. Come on.
No, exactly, not at all. People still want to buy really expensive clothes.
No, you do make some really expensive clothes. That's what I like, is that I can go scroll the website. We can get the sweatpants for $250. We can get the t-shirt for $80. But you got the leather jacket. You have like the real stuff.
Yeah.
That's more expensive, which I feel like you worked up to.
Yeah, I mean, we manufacture in a lot of, we manufacture where all the big brands manufacture their clothes. So we have like our leather bags are made where, all the big, leather brands make their clothes, and we just charge comparatively a lot less. So I think value that stuff. And obviously we are not known for it, but it does give it I think once we're in our own store, it gives it like an amazing framework, for people to understand that we're not just about sweatpants. I love producing clothes. That's sort of my real passion has been in the past, understanding the methods of production and how you produce things well. And I think, that we do that well.
Yeah. The other day I was checking out the leather bra.
Yeah. Would you wear it?
Which the leather bra I love. I don't know if it would look great on me. I kind of I'm pretty wide up top, so it'd be we'd have to do like a fitting.
How does a leather bra work with a sweaty tit?
Yeah.
It looks nice on top of a sweat. Who's wearing in our new campaign? Who's wearing our leather bra and looks amazing in it?
Who?
Mia Khalifa.
Oh, okay. Wow, Mia Khalifa. Yes, star of stage and screen.
She's amazing. I've met her, and she's such a brilliant person. And she's been wearing her stuff, and I photographed her in the leather bra the other day, and it looked very good on that.
I would hope so.
You can imagine.
I might have to Google that.
Yeah, I would hope so. Like
I'll
if that who's
I'll send you a screenshot.
great. Yeah, make sure you send Jason some. He probably already has a folder of screenshots, but we can add to it.
Yeah, it's funny because you type in Mia Khalifa bra and there's just 17,000 photos to wade through. It's gonna take a while. So talk amongst yourselves.
It's gonna take a while. Yeah, I don't know when this is coming out. When is this coming out? The podcast
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure, but it does come out tomorrow.
That's actually, I think our collaboration, the Aries How Long Gone, is no pressure in the no problemo font.
Ooh.
I just ideated that, so we'll be in touch.
And if you decide to not collaborate with us, we will just do it anyway. Just want to give you a heads,
exactly.
just a gentleman's agreement, just to let you know that will happen.
Yeah, we don't really care.
I'm at that point now with one of my collaborations where I just said, well, I think we should come out with it anyway, even if you guys don't like it. I love it.
Yeah, strong arming.
Yeah, I love it. Isn't that enough?
I love it. I'm cooler than you. Well, speaking of collabs,
I love it.
Speaking of colaboraciones,
Yeah.
who is like? Can you name a brand that you said no to?
No, probably not many.
She's like, no, we've said yes to all of them. I don't know what you mean.
No, we say yes to everyone.
Okay.
No, maybe just timing wise, there's a few, but I think any brand that's kind of big, you kind of can do something cool with. I think as long as they're prepared to take risks. That's my.
As long as they give you artistic.
Yeah.
I mean, people are coming.
Which they don't always do.
No, but if people are coming to you, like the New Balance stuff has been such a home run. Like I wear those shoes still all the time. The original pair, the neon pair.
I love those. Me too.
I love those. It's a great. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's a perfect. Like I think that they do a lot of collaborations now. Half of them are bad, and then there's 5 or 10 a year that are really good. And I think that you guys keep it funky.
It was fun. It was really fun, and actually with them it was quite easy. I had to write a letter, but it was quite easy to convince them to go eventually for the whole unbalanced theme, which was a bit difficult to start with. But I do find myself in collaboration writing these really long letters saying, I think it's okay to use the whatever awful thing we've decided to inflict on the collaborators. If you look at it.
Look, guys, I know this seems crazy and ugly, but we got to do it. Like it's good. Trust me, it's a good idea.
Everyone hates it, but I think it's going to be a good.
I mean, we're just trying to convince this company that putting pills all over the clothes.
Okay.
Pills.
Yeah, you're creating a pattern that's pills, or
a pattern of pills.
Okay, I think that's a great idea.
Graham Parsons style. That was kind of my idea.
Sophia, speaking of pills, sometimes on our podcast we will ask a guest if they're fun, cool, and up for a laugh, like you are.
Yeah.
What their top 3 of all time favorite prescription pills are.
Oh my God. Well, I have to say that at the top, they're all are they called the pans?
What are the pans?
The pans.
We don't know what that means.
Like, there's a pan. And
the pans.
And there's lots of pans.
If it ends with pan.
If it ends with pan, it's great.
That's that's a great takeaway from this episode.
3 drops of a pan is and no jet lag.
Okay, this is...
My dad's a doctor, so we got quite pure pans.
Okay, so you have a direct line. That's good to know.
Temazepam, Drazepam.
Temazepam, Diazepam,
all the pans.
The pans.
Yeah, I like that. It's like looking at the wine list. Like, here's our reds, here's our whites, here's our pans. If there's anything you had a question about, just let me know.
That's good.
Okay, so at the top of Mount Pillmore, pans reign supreme.
Pillmore, there's pan, but they come liquid, so it's drops. So
okay. Now, are you putting them in your eyes or just in your mouth like normal?
No, so you put you you put like in a little bit of water.
Oh, I see. Okay, like a tincture style. That's very popular with marijuana here in California.
Tincture style, yeah.
I'll do a little oil of oregano if I have a bit of a frog in my throat, stuff like that.
I actually had this terrible experience last week where I had really bad back, and my friend gave me a tincture saying, "Oh, this is really great, and you should put it on your back." Directly on your back, and it looked like some kind of like gloop style ointment. So
okay.
I just said, that's not going to do anything. So he was like, "Oh, you can just take it." And he gave me 2 tiny drops of this ointment, and I literally never been as stoned. I think it was horrific.
That was the highest you've ever been.
It was the highest I've ever been. It was horrible.
And you've been going to Ibiza since the 90s.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like really, really, I had to like face the like the family dinner and everything, feeling completely like that, detached from reality. And I still don't know what was in it because he just said something really medical.
I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, I've been way too high at a friend's dinner or something like that, and I am just chewing my fingernails, just so stressed out. But if I'm in that situation with like my children looking at me, oh my God.
I had to tell him. I came out. I just had to tell him. I'm really sorry. I don't know what he's giving me, but this is not good. And it was like that situation where everything that you say sounds wrong, like where your confidence is just destroyed to nothing. It was
so you're
quite,
like, sorry guys, I'm going to take my dinner upstairs. I'm going to watch Love Island for 5 hours. Don't talk to me.
Yeah. Mom needs some mom time. Mom needs some mom time. I'm going to go upstairs. Don't knock. I'm going to be in there. Don't leave me alone.
I actually watched Bernie Madoff.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that yet. He's one of my heroes, so I need to catch up.
That's one of my favorite stoner movies.
So if you love him, you've got to see the documentary because it's actually quite Well,
I love him. I love him partly because of you're familiar with Belgian shoes, I'm sure.
No.
So Belgian shoes are kind of like a New York institution. It's like a store uptown, and it was always like the Upper East Side, like very rich guy shoe. It's like a slipper with a tiny little bow on it, and there's like one place you can get they've been obviously like all the.
I know the shoe. Yeah.
So it's like that.
It's like a velvety loafer kind of.
But
thing.
you can get them in all kinds. You can get them in ostrich and leather and velvet. You can get everything. You get them
just
made.
like one of your Birkin bags, Sophia.
Exactly. And they keep your size. They keep your if you really got the bread, they keep your size on file, and you order all the new materials and colors every season, blah blah blah. So when Bernie went to jail, there was this famous picture of his Belgian collection that was up for auction, and it was like 100 pairs or something crazy. It was like 100 pairs. He had every color, so it's I only have a couple pairs because I haven't stolen enough money yet.
So, Chris, what are some things about Bernie that you like?
Just the shoes, really.
Okay.
And the fact that he
is known as one of the most evil humans of all time.
He has stolen the most money. That is 60 billion. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more that he. I think it's like the whole thing it's awful, obviously. But the fact that people react to stealing money worse than they do like mass killings is something that's also very interesting to me as far as like our society goes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I know he stole money from Kevin Bacon, and that does suck. Don't get me wrong. But like we have some real atrocities going on in this world that seem that I would think demand a little more attention and maybe even empathy. But that's just me.
And I think,
but he's got great shoes.
If you think about it, the banks steal your money all the time. He's like, he was quite, if you listen to him, I think he thought he was doing good.
Yeah, he definitely brainwashed. I mean, that's what people like that do. They've talked themselves in. Yeah. He like convinced himself that he was like he was Peter Pan or something.
Yeah.
Which is definitely not the case.
Yeah. But I think if you think about money, it's such a, especially now with like cards and stuff, it's so like abstract that the fact that he actually wasn't investing that money, but he thought he was somehow keeping it safe for people makes more sense. When you hear him interviewed, you start thinking, oh my God, he actually did, he believed that that was the right thing to do. It's weird.
Totally. No, he was.
Yeah,
now,
he believed.
The question is, do you think the family knew or do you think they didn't know?
I think it's really hard. I'm only watched the first episode. So I'm like looking forward to watching the other ones.
The FBI is asking that same question right now, Chris.
No, I mean, I just lived in New York when this was all happening, and it was so just insane. It was just nonstop like coverage, and I truly believe the wife didn't know. I don't know if the sons, obviously the sons were involved in the business, so it's a little dicier. But like, I definitely don't think the wife knew, and I think that's the most tragic part to me. A little bit is like, can you imagine living that life for 70 years and then basically being like, I have to live in a hovel in South Florida now, and I was lied to, you know what I mean?
It's
terrible.
Yeah, it's
terrible.
I think because I don't think he, in a sense, he knew. I think it wasn't until like everything, like collapsed that he was and he was made to give the money back that he realized that, it's a little bit like, what was it called? Northern Rock. It was like the Northern Rock collapse, but like 1,000,000 times more. I mean, banks were kind of doing a similar thing in a way.
No, totally. Yeah. No, it's a blueprint. I mean, there's a way that this works.
Yeah. Sorry. No, I think that he was doing 2 different businesses. That's what comes out from the documentary. He was running 2 different businesses. So whether, because he was so happy and everyone thought he was doing so well, people didn't question it. I don't know. I mean, it's weird.
It was the perfect crime until it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's like when we finally open our How Long Gone coffee shop that's cash only. We're gonna have 2 separate sets of books. You know what I mean? One for us, one for the IRS. It's gonna be a whole thing. Yeah. You know how it is. You're a small business owner, Sofia. You know how it is.
Yeah, exactly. You have to. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what happened because it is quite intriguing.
It's a great. I mean, it's a great story. It's a great story.
Yeah.
All right, Sofia, we really thank you for joining us on How Long Gone today. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Lovely to meet you. Hopefully one day meet you in real life.
I was going to tell you, we're going to be in London at the end of the month doing a few things. I'll make sure you get the invites.
Oh my God, do come and visit us too. We'll cover you in no problemos. We can be
okay. I need some. I have been eyeing some sweatpants, so I'll definitely follow up on that.
I'll take the varsity jacket, but yeah, thank you.
You've got to go. I'll put it aside. Thank you so much. That was so much fun.
Of course.
Less scary.
Thanks. Thank you. Later.
Do you think that life is really tough when they tell you won't buy you a brand new car? Take a girl out, she won't fuck you. You just bought her a gram of coke. Spend all your money on shitty car. I'm not a loser. That's right. I'm not a loser. I'm not a loser. Cruise on the boulevard, wasting mommy's cash while you're looking for the kicks on Friday night. All they go on live is smoke a joint. Decide how you're gonna get laid tonight.